What up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am A.D. Walker, D. Pusha, D. Grower, D. Motivator. So I appreciate you guys being here today. Make sure you are sharing. Sharing is caring. I let everybody know that the brothers are in the building. Got so much to talk about today. I appreciate you guys being here. We had a great conversation last night. If you missed Purposeful Forever, make sure you check it out. We had a good conversation. We talked talked about the hard reset and talk about having the truth conversation. We'll give you some updates next week about the truth conversations. But yeah, it was definitely a wonderful conversation. Wonderful. Again, make sure you share, tag somebody, let everybody know that the Brothers of Legacy are in the building. Tonight, it's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Make sure you check out Solomon's Temple Christian Ministries with Pastor Brian A. McCrory Sr. in the building, as well as 8:30. We have the Sisters of Legacy with our very own Samantha Walker in the building with her ladies making it happen. So make sure you check it out tonight, 7 o'clock STCM, and 8:30. The Sisters of Legacy will be on. All right. No big news today. Just following this Ukraine situation, but you know how that's going, and you know the news is showing that Ukraine seems like they're winning. I guess, which is wild, but I guess they may be the same size. Who knows? But we're gonna go ahead and kick this off with our intro, and we'll be back right after this. I want to welcome you to the Brothers of Legacy broadcast, where we are changing our community one conversation at a time, every day.
We are creating a new legacy.
Change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come, change gon' come.
A co-op has to start with ownership. Right. We have a mindset of either I want to make a lot of money or survive. Make a bunch of money or I got to figure out how to survive.
When you have a real bond, when everyone has, we come in with real expectations. Because this is covenant.
The whole point is that we as a people, with our money and time, aren't often making this just possible, often vested in the legacy.
All right, we're back. Welcome back. All right, so today I want to discuss, do you know when you are stuck? Do you know when you are stuck? Prayerfully Pastor come through, because we started having this conversation early, probably maybe a week or two ago, and it was pretty interesting. And so my question today to you as well, do you know when you are stuck, or do you know people that are stuck, and do they recognize that they're stuck? So stuck could be in different spaces, mainly, it could either be financial, it could be relationally. And what I mean by stuck is stuck in a specific mindset, generally based on a past action or something happened. And now, I'll never believe such and such, or I'll never do such and such ever again, because I don't think it's worthy. I don't think anything will come out of it. I don't believe it's fruitful, and never willing to try something again. Stuck in a space where I never want to put my heart out there again. I never risk my finances again. And it's not a good thing, and why I say that, because, you can miss out on something great in life because your mind is stuck in the past. Because this thing went wrong. I'll never do it again. Now, it's good to learn from a mistake, but being specific on certain moves that I made can affect what I do. Good morning, Mama Corey. Good morning, Miss Braswell. Deborah in the building. So yeah, it's imperative that we recognize, when we're stuck. And I know, like, I guess for the most part, if your life is going well in one space, you may not recognize that you're stuck in another space. Because we could have, you could have a level of financial success happening, but your mindset can keep you stuck where you can't become totally successful because you won't make that next step. You won't make that leap. And we get comfortable in a specific space of success. All right, coming to the stage, all the way from Kankakee, Pastor Brian A. McCrory Sr.
You said all the way from Kankakee. Look, if you ain't been there in 30 years, you're not from there anymore.
all the way. Good morning, Pastor. Happy
morning.
Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you, sir. Happy
Yes.
Tuesday to everyone.
Yes, indeed. So like today, and I'm glad. I was hoping, I was like, man, I gotta do this by myself. This is the one I really want you to be here.
Hey.
Do you know when you are stuck, or does it take someone else to kind of say something before you recognize it in your life, in spaces that you either felt like not really just improve on, but I need to get over this thing so I can get into some better opportunities, and not just financial, but relationally, like we talk about friendships and things of that nature. Because I know people have been hurt with friends. Like, I'm never going to have another friend. I'm never adding anybody to the roster because I've been hurt. I'm done. Nope. Not letting you in. I'm going to cut it off quick. Hey, Lisa, blessings. Thank you for sharing. Do you feel like people know that they're stuck, or does someone have to tell them that they're stuck?
I think the answer is both.
Okay.
You can know when you're stuck at times, and
Right.
then there are times that you don't realize you're stuck.
Right.
You have to, I think you just have to examine, I love the scripture that tells us that we have to examine ourselves. And that's why I'm constantly asking people to pick the length of my presentation, pick the length of my life, pick the length of what you see from me. I want to make sure that there's forward progression.
Right.
You can tell when you're stuck, when life feels repetitive.
Right.
Every day begins to look the same.
Right.
Then you know that you might be stuck. If you feel less motivated, if it's harder to get up,
right,
then you may be stuck.
Right.
If you're not looking forward to what the day brings,
right,
you might be stuck.
Right.
Here's folks who forget that I have this. My children forget I'm online in the morning.
Indeed. All the time.
Listen, from 34 to 18, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They're gonna call.
Right.
Yeah, when you're lacking motivation for your day,
right.
I think that's a sign of possibly being stuck.
Okay.
So there, and again, there are a number of reasons that, and you have to forgive me, man, I'm being distracted here.
You're fine.
There are many reasons, or there are many signs
right.
of being stuck. That reason is the wrong word, but there are many signs that can help you determine whether or not you're stuck. If you are, fear is being stuck.
Right. Right.
If you're scared to make the move.
Right.
you just might be stuck,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a big one. I think, a lot of people, will tell you like, I want to do, I have it in my
but
mind,
I
but
want to, but
right, right. Like,
yeah,
and I know people have done, like, if it's a business, I've done everything else,
yeah,
but jump out there. Like, did you publish on the website yet?
right,
Did you at least tell somebody about it? Like, no,
right.
I'm trying to get one more thing. Like, why? What are you waiting for? Like,
Mm.
what is it that's keeping? Wait, I gotta get this other paperwork. Do you really need that paperwork to get started? Like, one more thing. Hold on, I'm trying to,
Yeah.
It's funny because some time ago, I was in this meeting with some brothers and like, hey Sam, I was in the meeting with some brothers and the guy that was like hosting, he was talking about the gentleman had done a podcast or an interview or whatever. So of course I'm like, oh, let me get that info. I want to hear it. Boom, boom, boom. He was like, well, I got them, but they're not published yet. I'm like, what? he said, I got like 4 in the queue. I was like, you got 4 podcasts made, but they ain't out yet. Like, he said, I want to make sure. I'm like, for what? Like, there's never going to be a perfect opportunity. There's never going to be like podcast day. This is the time to launch and everybody's going to hear it. You just kind of have to put it out there and talk about it, so, and it's funny. I've heard that several times. Yeah, I've done a few. I'm gonna launch it. I'm like, what? Just put it out,
Right.
But I think it's that fear. And like you said, when you talk about picking the length, no one really wants their dream picked apart,
Right.
and I think that's the fear. Like, like you say anything bad is like, then they're not supposed to be doing it. That's not necessarily the case. It's just, I'm launching, I'm just learning how to use a mic, I'm learning my speaking voice, try not to say, like there are certain things that come with just the journey. And that fear, even like with relationships, I'm never gonna meet anybody again that's in church. Like I'm not like anybody in church, I'm never gonna let them talk to me. Like it's gonna be from everywhere else. I'm not fooling nobody in church. It's that fear. I think that's the one thing that keeps you stuck. And it's kept me stuck in certain spaces, like that fear, and I had to, I guess, get to the point where it's like, what's the worst that can happen? Like you get told no, or this thing doesn't work, what's the worst thing that can happen? And if we can get into that space of just stepping out, right? Peter stepping out, seeing Jesus walking like, oh, I want to do that,
Right.
and making the move without
But
the fear.
but that's the thing, it shouldn't have to take seeing someone else do it.
Right. That's true too.
It helps so that it's possible,
Right.
but it shouldn't have to take seeing someone else do it.
Right.
That's
Right.
why the term trailblazer
Right.
is a relevant term.
Right.
You might be the first,
Right.
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 So there's so much to it, but again, we're talking about understanding the signs of being stuck, motivation, lack of motivation, not being able to write a future, not being able to see
Right.
a change,
Right.
no longer chasing change. If
Right.
your vocabulary is the same today as it was a year ago,
Mhm.
then you may be stuck. I remember there was a time I had a friend of mine, anytime we'd have a conversation, every time we have a conversation, we both would walk away with a new word
Mm.
or a new term.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We challenged each other that every
Right.
time we had a conversation, either he would get a word from me or I would get one from him. He'd get a phrase from me or I would get one from him.
Right.
And that was just a way of keeping us pressing forward,
Right.
you know. And so you have to challenge yourself, what is the last book you read? If you can't think of the last book you read, you know, then you might be stuck,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's funny. My brain is not as sharp as it used to be, because there was a time I'd be reading, 4 books at one time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
right. Crazy. but now I read 2,
Okay.
which is, in today's version of me, that's crazy. But it used to be 4 that was crazy. Now 2 is crazy.
Right. Right. Right.
But I'm still moving,
Right.
but I'm not as moving at the pace that I was moving before. But if I wake
Right.
up and I don't have a book,
Right. Right.
or I can't remember the last book,
Right.
then there could be a problem with my motivation.
Right. Right.
You have a service, you provide a service for your business to people.
Right.
Have you launched a new stream of service? Is there a
Mhm.
new offering? Are you
Right.
selling the same thing the same way that you sold it when you launched your business?
It's
If you
working.
are,
I'm making money.
yeah.
It's still
Well,
working.
and the question is, that's the thing. What's driving you? Are you
Right.
satisfied with just making what you've always made? Or are you looking to do something new, something different, something exciting, something dynamic? You know,
It could be I am, but but what I've been doing just has been working, and I don't want to mess it up, because back in 2005 I tried to make a move and it didn't go well. So now I got to get back to what I've been doing and stay there.
right?
so, so nothing gets messed up. And I think that, it's crazy, Pat. Sometimes, you ever feel like success can get you stuck, you know,
Yeah.
doing too well can,
Yes.
can get you
Listen,
stuck.
guy, I'm the guy who has been working the same job
Right, right,
for 15 years.
right,
People
right,
say, "Wow, that's awesome. You do the same company for 15 years?"
right, right,
I'm like, you do the same company for 15 years?
right,
Right?
right, right.
Because my thought was, this job is a funding source
Yes,
for
yeah,
ministry.
right,
That's how I've always looked at it. So as long as it can fund ministry, I'll
right,
hold the job.
right,
And that's a form of being stuck.
right. Indeed.
It really is,
Yeah, yeah,
because I could be doing more.
right,
As
right.
crazy as this job is,
Yeah,
someone would say, well, if you can do your job and do ministry, then you're not doing enough.
mm, mm. Wow,
Listen, there are people who think like that. Now,
wow.
I don't think like that, because there just aren't enough hours in the day for me. People
Right,
asking
right,
me, well, where's your next book? I'm like, what do you understand how hard it is to set aside some time? But but getting stuck can also equate to not learning how to more effectively manage your time.
right, right.
You
Can
know,
you hear me? Okay.
how I manage
Um,
my time today should be different than how I managed my time 10 years ago.
right, definitely. Sean says, can stuck equal comfortable? Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
that's probably the leading cause
Right, right,
of being stuck.
right. Cause you
If
comfortable.
there were a top 10, that would be in the top 2.
Right, right, right.
Too comfortable.
Cause right, yeah, yeah. Cause I know folks that are talented in other areas, and fortunately, they were blessed to get degreed and work in a. I think he's in IT, and he is like he has such a personality, like there are other things I know that he's done, but he's drawing it back in to be stable, but there's like in my mind, it's like I know he's doing it a little bit, but he could really make some moves, if he kind of steps into who he is. And my screen just keeps doing this zoom in, zoom out. This episode is brought to you by Spectrum. If you want interruptions in your broadcast, choose Spectrum. So yeah, it's that comfortableness, boy. Once you get comfortable, things are flowing, because it's easy to see somebody struggling, and it's like, you struggling because you stuck. And it's easy to like, yo, if you just change this, dude. And I think someone may be more willing to listen, but when everything's good, it's like, everything's good. Like, how can I get more? Oh, okay. So Sam says, but am I really stuck if I'm where I want to be? Right. That's true. No doubt. You can't determine that I am stuck. I think sometimes, though, I've heard people that are comfortable, say they desire more. It's just moving out of that comfortable space that they've placed that dent in the couch kind of thing. Loss of taste, right? Or losing the hunger. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one, because I think I've heard people, I've just settled into reality. The reality is, this is all I'm ever going to be. Like the reality is, this is all I'm ever going to accomplish. And I get it. I feel like in that space, you just kind of rob yourself of a more fulfilled life and doing more of what's inside of you, your gifting. And I feel like it just, you're not going to be completely happy with the outcome, especially as you get older, with what your life shapes out to be. So and you're right. Sam did say, no one can determine for someone else that they're stuck unless, the way they speak is like, you always seem you desire more, but you always have a but, like, I'm here, I got to do this, I got to do that. You never have a forward thinking or forward progression kind of plan. Like, how do I begin to achieve what we've been talking about? And finances isn't necessarily the goal, but it's that impact that leads you into another space that gets you to the finances. That is big, but that loss of chase is big. Like I said, that reality check, the reality is, people telling you what the reality is, matters. Do you feel like that's a lot of it, that loss of the chase or loss of hunger happens?
I don't, that's a tough one for me, because when you say a loss of hunger, maybe my emotional or psychological mental diet has changed. Okay. And I'm just hungry for something different. Our dog eats the same dog food every day. Every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't tell whether he loves it or hates it. Right. But he has to be content because he keeps eating it. So one person can look at the dog and say he's stuck, and the dog's like, this is what they give me.
Right.
Because I notice that whenever he sees us eating, he's right there in our face. He wants to know what you have. Why does yours look different than mine? And if you give it to him, he'll chop it up like nobody's business.
Right.
Even to the point of, like, if you give him too much of an alternative, he'll stop eating his food.
Mm. Okay.
right?
Okay. He said he knew
But
you're
you
not
go
giving
back
him
to
anything.
if you I told girls, if you stop giving him all these alternatives, he'll go back to eating his food.
Right.
What
Right.
am I saying? I'm saying one person's stuck might be another person's content.
Mm. Right. That's
To
good.
Sam's point, you can't tell me I'm stuck if I'm where I want to be.
Right.
You're confusing stuck with me being content,
Right. Right. Right.
right?
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the measurement of being stuck is going to be based on what you want in life.
Right.
And no
True.
one can tell you what you want in life,
Right.
right? I'm happy with where I am. I love what I'm doing. I don't feel like it's necessary to change anything. All right, that's great. My world just looks different, is shaped different than yours.
Right.
So I'm not going to tell you that you're stuck. But if you tell me you're chasing and you want this and you want that, and I don't see the consistency and I don't see the things that are conducive to reaching those goals,
Yeah.
then I can talk to you about possibly being stuck.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Robert
one
says
man
stuck.
can't measure another man's happiness.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. Rollins says stuck can be when you feel you have completed all you can and the feeling there is nothing left to accomplish. Mm.
Yeah, kind
I
of like
mean,
all your children growing up and graduating from school and moving out of the house, and you feel like I'm done. My work is done.
right.
Happens
Right.
all the time.
Right.
30 years on the job and I retire. There's
Yeah.
nothing
I'm
left to
done.
do. I put my 30 years, I got my pension. I'm
Right.
good. I'm going to work in my garden.
Right.
But again, that's not stuck. That's transition. That's shifting.
Yeah.
I am now focused on my garden where I was focused on my children graduating from school, graduating from college.
Right.
I'm now focused on my garden where I used to be focused on making it to work on time, being consistent in my efforts.
Right. 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 That's good.
I'm saying stuck is when you're not looking forward to your day. Stuck is when you're lacking motivation to get things accomplished. Stuck is when you feel empty inside, like there's no sense of purpose.
Right.
Stuck is when you don't feel like you're able to accomplish the things that you can accomplish.
Right.
Like writer's block. I want to write, but I can't think of anything. I'm stuck.
Right.
A construction worker, an architect. I want to build, but I can't come up with a design. I'm stuck. A
Right.
preacher. I want to preach, but I don't have a word. I'm stuck.
Right. But then, okay, so what about
I
complacent?
want to lose weight, but I can't get to the gym. What do you mean you can't get to the gym? You can work out in your house. You're stuck. Mental block.
Yeah. That's a whole nother
Emotional block.
motivation. But what about like being complacent? Like we talk stuck, but what about being complacent? Like you said, lose the chase, lose the hunger, and you kind of settle for. And I get you can't tell somebody that they're stuck, but I don't know. Like you ever see somebody that seems like they have so much in them, right? And so much that they can offer. I used to lose weight, but don't want to push food to the side. Don't do that. Don't be in my business. So they want to, like you see so much talent or so much in them, right? Yet they kind of settle. And I know like we can't make anybody become something, but like, what do you do? I don't even know. Like, I mean, I know you can't change anything, but I just, in my mind, like I've seen folks that are so talented, so gifted, but they seem so complacent,
Right. But the question is, do they see it in themselves? See, I can see it in you, but if you don't see it in yourself, I can't run the mile for you.
No,
I mean,
no
I
doubt.
can run the
There's no doubt
mile.
about that.
I can run the mile, but it's not going to benefit you.
Right. Right.
You have to run the race. So if you don't get up and run, doesn't matter how much I run, it doesn't matter how much I cheer, shout, scream, whatever.
No doubt.
If you don't get up and move,
Right. I don't know.
think of Joseph in the scripture when he was dropped into that well.
Right.
He could have died there.
True. True.
He was stuck.
Just gave up. Just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Right.
But what happened is he couldn't climb out on his own.
Right.
Someone else had to acknowledge that he was stuck. So he had to want to get unstuck,
Right.
but he needed someone else to acknowledge that he was stuck.
Right.
And they gave him just enough help to get out of the well.
Right.
So sometimes you can get yourself unstuck, but there's also times where someone has to acknowledge, recognize that you're stuck, and give you a hand up.
Right. Rollins says, settling with saying that's what everyone did, giving the excuse to not push when you have it in you. Right. Right. Yeah. I guess maybe it's just me. Like I just to, like, especially if they started or they haven't and they just, like I said, because of something in the past, it's just like, I don't ever want to do that again. I think that's, like, that's the point. Like that's the people I push, like I just, you have it in you, I know you have this past blockage. I just want to
Listen, I would say I prefer, here's the thing, it's all relative. I prefer I never want to do that again over I never tried it. Because saying I never wanted to do it again means at least you tried it.
Right. Yeah. Indeed. That is the truth. That is the truth.
So it's all relative. I mean, and it depends on what you're talking about. I mean, you're in that was an excuse for mediocre grade. Man, everybody's struggling in Mr. Johnson's class. Well, then that means everybody's a dummy. So you want to be a dummy because everybody else is a dummy?
Right.
I had $1 for every excuse I got like that one, man. Nobody got an A in his class. Everybody failed that test. Then none of y'all studied.
All agreed. We ain't studying. Oh man.
Yeah, listen. My children have. Dad, I don't want to take this class. I want to transfer out of this class. It's too hard. Really? You think that when you're 33 years old and you don't like what you're doing, you're going to just switch classes? Come on now. When trials come, when challenges come, you have to face those obstacles and overcome them and become something greater than you are. My greatest competition is yesterday's version of self.
Right.
I'm not competing with UAD. I'm competing with yesterday's version of me. I'm trying to outrun yesterday's Brian.
Richard asked if Pastor will ever cheeky teaches.
What does that mean? Cheeky.
I guess so. You're going back and forth. You got something to say. Every time they say something, you say something back.
No.
Oh,
because I'm the son of a teacher.
Right.
I knew better.
Right. I don't want mom going up here with the boots.
No. When my mother came to the school back in the day, she didn't come in a skirt. She came in jeans and boots.
Right.
Nope.
Boots and fatigue. Oh man. Yeah, it's definitely that settling. He said get towed on quick.
Yeah. My mother knew too many people.
No. You ain't got to call my mama. I'm good. I'm down.
No. Look, when we struggled as babies, when my mom was young, and like my mom, she's the kind of person that wouldn't pay the gas bill or the electric bill during the winter months. She would catch up when it warmed up because in the summertime we didn't use gas because she always cooked outside. We always grilled and stuff to save money.
Right.
But you try cutting her utilities off if you want to. Seriously, there's a
Right.
story of my mom standing outside in the winter holding one of us with a butcher knife in her hand, daring the utility person to cut off the gas.
Wow.
Now, I was too young. I heard the story. I can't validate the story, but I heard that story my entire life of my mom holding a butcher knife outside in the cold,
Outside.
daring
Wow.
somebody. Because
Cut off
back
the
then they
utility.
used to have to come to your house, come to your
Right,
place
right.
to turn off the
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Then get
Yeah.
back there. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's-
wish you would try to turn this off, and I got babies in there. Seriously.
Wow.
So
It-
yeah, you didn't mess with Shirley McCrory or her children.
Right.
I told y'all, man, my something was wrong with my mom, man. She's crazy. In a good way.
Oh, just a quick reset
So-
on the. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that when it comes to, like, I was saying earlier about Joseph and getting help out of the
Right.
well.
Right.
Sometimes it takes someone else to recognize what you already know about yourself. Does
Right.
that make sense? Because like there's been times in my life where I wondered if I was stagnant.
Mm.
And then someone close to me came and said something and was like, ooh, someone else sees it. So that
Right.
is what this is.
Right.
So I better kick it in gear. You know, that's the thing. And that
Right.
happens. Like God has put people in my life, you know, that will look at my face and be like, hey, you good?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm grateful. And I call those, you know, what the greatest blessing that God can give you is mirrors in your life.
Right.
Right? That he surrounds you with mirrors in your life so that in every direction you can see yourself. And what I mean by that is, you know, you step in front of the mirror in the morning, you check yourself out, you see if you have something on your face or whatever, you wash your face, brush your teeth, whatever, you check to make sure you look all right. Sometimes those mirrors get jaded, they get overshadowed, they get blurry.
Right.
But what God will do is he'll put people in your life that act as mirrors that will tell you what you look like.
Right.
And the enemy wants to break all the mirrors in your life. The enemy wants you stuck. So he tries to erode your relationships, to crash all those mirrors in your life so that no one will tell you what you look like. And now you're stuck and you don't know you're stuck.
Right.
You know, and so the objective is to have these mirrors, have relationships, have people in your life that can tell you the truth about you, and you be willing to accept and receive that so that you can progress forward and make those improvements and keep shifting, keep pushing.
Right. Definitely.
Yes, and being around different perspectives, and that's what I mean by mirrors. You know, you have people set up at every angle of your life, so everybody sees from a different angle.
Right. Definitely.
You know, yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. There's somebody standing in front of you, you know, letting you know you haven't moved forward. There's somebody standing behind you that's trying to figure out why you're still there.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank God for the mirrors in my life that keep me from being stuck.
Definitely. Yeah, you gotta have those people around you. I'm basically like the seasons now. I'm really big on making sure I'm around those that can push, hold me accountable, you know, won't let me stop, you know, won't let me get lost. It's big. It's big. And it seems like, you know, the older I get, the more important it is to me to have that, you know, because there's so much, and I don't know, like, I don't know. I feel I see so much in people, and I want them to be the best of who they are, you know, and I don't like when people get too complacent. And I do understand what you're saying. At least folks have tried certain things. Like, at least you tried, you know, you find out, it's not what I want to do. But yeah, it's worse when they haven't even like stepped out there, you know, like I'm gonna, but I'm about to.
Yeah.
But that's like the big one. I'm about to, and never really doing, because of something. And I like the community we have, just to kind of push each other into new spaces, better spaces, and to grow. And by next year, we're in a different space because we're growing every day. And that's the big one, challenging yourself to be better the next day. What may have I missed? Over plenty of people, over opinionated, but not mirrors, who better leave me alone before I run my sarcasm. I got you. But you got to be in a place to receive too.
Yeah.
Got to be in a place to receive.
We can't be too sensitive, but I definitely understand where Richard is coming from. Yeah, but you take what's for you, and the rest you let it roll down your sleeve.
Right.
Bill, when I'm ready. When will you be ready? Yeah.
I'm ready. Right. That's me. That is me. You ready? No, not yet. You ready? Not yet. Are you ready now?
But I think like over the last couple of years, COVID, the COVID season has made has made some heroes, but it has also exposed some zeros.
All right. Break it down.
It's funny in 2019, the Lord showed me that we were heading into a season of manifestation, a season of exposure. Right. And we've talked about this on a number of occasions. And I said that a lot of people, when they hear this word, this prophetic announcement, they're going to think, ooh, my business is getting ready to take off, or my money is coming.
Right.
Some folks aren't prepared for, oh, I married a cheater.
Right.
Some folks aren't prepared for, who I thought was my partner really didn't have my best interest at heart.
Right.
Some folks weren't ready for, the IRS said I forgot what?
Right.
Seriously. Manifestation, exposure brings out good and ugly.
Right.
And everybody wants the good, but no one's prepared for the ugly.
Right.
And so a lot of people that had quote unquote fame and fortune were living through the benefits of something else. And when that something else shut down, you were exposed.
Right.
For who you really are, and you really didn't have anything going for yourself. Right. And that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of people like some of my best work privately has been done during the COVID season, but some of my greatest challenges have come during the COVID season.
Right.
And some of the greatest work that the Lord has blessed me to do, the only people who know about it are the people that were directly impacted.
Right.
Because there was never a commercial. True. I didn't go viral.
Right.
But I had a viral impact. The work had a viral impact. Lives were changed and improved and shifted because of things that were done that no one else, that the world couldn't see.
True.
And so that's some of the greatest work, but it was never commercialized. But there was a lot of commercialized work that was done that had no real value.
Right.
And it has come back to haunt people. Morning, Cheryl.
Hey,
so so what I'm saying is when COVID hit and certain people didn't have the ability to do what they were doing,
right,
they fell off the scene. They got stuck and disappeared. You haven't heard from them.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Someone may have come and encouraged them to go do something else. And they're like, no, that's all I knew. That's all I had.
Right. Wow.
Right. And so you don't hear those names anymore. Other people were able to adjust and shift and be creative and write new vision. And they have soared to higher heights and deeper depths, depths. So I think that COVID has been the best and worst thing that could have ever happened, because there are a lot of people that were stuck before COVID that are now liberated because of the manifestation, because of what has been exposed.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that thought they had it all and have nothing today because of manifestation and exposure.
True.
Adaptability and pivotability are two great gifts. Absolutely, Richard.
Right.
Absolutely. But you have to have something internally in order to adapt.
Yeah.
In order to pivot. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, Cheryl. I mean, we found some stuff out over these last couple of years.
Yeah, you do definitely have to have something in you to be able to adapt and pivot, and to be able to see change and know it's time to shift. Like I was talking about earlier, like you know what's been working, but now obviously the season is changing. The way to interact is changing. So we have to be able to shift in that space. And be realistic about it, to know that, okay, it's time to make a move and not, well, I'm gonna wait this thing out like a storm. I'm gonna wait it out. It's gonna pass through, and recognize that, this thing just gonna pass through, and being able to make that shift and change. All right. So real quick, reset. Thank you guys for watching the Brothers of Legacy, hanging out with us. Make sure you stay connected. If you're missing the notifications, join our text community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Also, if you are a couple, if you are in a relationship, married, about to get married, either way, you have a boo thing. We have a intentional love challenge that we do every single week. So make sure you get a part of that as well. Text P4F at 84576. Text P4F at 84576. So you don't miss our next challenge. We do it every Monday, as well as we're gonna you have tidbits throughout the week. Promise you won't get 1,000 texts, get a few, and it'll help just kind of challenge your relationship just a little bit. So make sure you do that. Tonight, make sure you don't miss Pastor Brian A. McCoy, Solomon Temple Christian Ministries, Traveling the Scriptures, tonight at 7 p.m. at TCM, as well as the Sisters of Legacy tonight at 8:30. We said, I love saying you don't know what you don't know.
One of my famous phrases. So tonight, for those of you who don't normally tune in to Traveling Through the Scriptures, we've been in this space, this prayer focus, and I want to deal with something tonight that challenges the faith of the believer. So I'm going to challenge you all to join us tonight. Go look up Solomon's Temple. Some of y'all have never been there. Shame on you. But look up Solomon's Temple, because tonight I'm going to ask people, do you want to see God do something great? That's the question. Do you want to see God do something great? Right? Everybody should want the Lord to do something great in your life. Right? So the question is, are you in a place where you're prepared to see God do something great? Right. Yeah. Okay. When will he do it? How long will it take? And will I be ready for God to do something great? Do you want to see God do something great? If you want to find out if you're in a place for God to do something great, tune in tonight, 7 o'clock, Traveling Through the Scripture.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Listen, if you're part of my text community, I'll shoot it out tonight. So join LWN to 84576. LWN to 84576. Tune in. People from Africa praying on me. Okay. All right. So So we appreciate you guys being here, rocking with us, hanging with us, all that, and then some. If all hearts and minds are clear, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Continue to stay safe. Continue to pray for yourself, your family, the world, and all that's going on around us. Okay, it's just right here. All right, so
here's the question. Here's the question, AD. Are you going through a transformational learning experience? Here's the question. Are you going through a transformational learning experience, or are you going through a disorienting dilemma?
Ooh.
Are you experiencing a transformational learning experience, or are you experiencing a disorienting dilemma? Ask yourself that question.
Okay, asking themselves. Okay, that's good.
That's from a book, The Power of Moments.
Okay.
The book is called The Power of Moments, and it asks a question: why certain experiences have extraordinary impact. The Power of Moments.
That's good.
Why certain experiences have. I mean, it's really deep because it challenges the mind, right?
Right.
This is two guys, Chip and Dan Heath, wrote this book, The Power of Moments: why certain experiences have extraordinary impact. And it's because you can get confused between a transformational experience and a disorienting dilemma. Sometimes it can transform you, other times it can just disorient you.
Right. That's good. Let that marinate. Appreciate you guys. Check that book out. Power of Moments. Thank you,
We'll
Mama
see you
Corey.
tonight for some more deep stuff.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate you. Thank you for rocking and hanging with us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Always know we love you and God loves you more. Continue to stay safe and always do the right thing. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for rocking.